As the holiday season approaches, authorities are bracing for the almost inevitable spike in car crash injuries and fatalities. Most experts believe that speed is one of the major contributors to road trauma. Well, a system known as Intelligent Speed Adaptation, or ISA, has been hailed as a potential lifesaver. It's a device which warns a driver when he's speeding, he or she is speeding. Some systems can even force the car to slow down by reducing the amount of fuel flowing to the engine. But there are some doubts that the technology can deliver all it promises. Tracy Bowden reports.
Every day a road somewhere in Australia becomes a crash scene. A distressing crush of metal and broken bodies. Up to 1,500 people die in car accidents each year. Tens of thousands are injured. Most safety experts agree there is one main cause.
Well, speed is the largest contributing factor to fatal and serious injury crashes across the whole of Australia. If we can bring people's speeds down, we will dramatically cut the number of deaths and injuries on our roads.
Now a device which safety experts hope will do just that is being trialled in Australia. It's called Intelligent Speed Adaptation, or ISA.
This is perhaps the most effective road safety technology that we could put into vehicles that has yet to be implemented.
The trial is being conducted in the Illawarra region south of Sydney. Participants' cars are fitted with a device which looks like a satellite navigation system. The speed limits on all the roads in the area have been recorded, and when drivers exceed the speed limit, they're told about it.
Bloody thing. Oh, it starts to pip at me, and the faster I go, the more it pips. And it gets so annoying you have to take your foot off the accelerator, which is really good.
57-year-old Robin Stevens is one of the locals taking part in the study.
I'm a seasoned driver who's driven for 40 years and thought she was doing the right thing.
So what did you find out about the amount that you speed?
I found out I do it all the time.
Danny Peterson is also a participant in the trial. At 21, he's in the age group which contributes the most to fatalities on our roads.
Generally, everyone goes over the speed limit no matter what they say. My driving before was probably a little bit erratic with work, just driving around a fair bit and I guess trying to get to place a bit quicker on time. I guess I did tend to speed a bit more.
Over the years, the message that speed kills has been central to Australia's road safety campaigns. Experts from around the world are looking at ways to slow motorists down. British Professor of Transport Safety Oliver Carston told a recent conference in Sydney that intelligent speed adaptation is the most important safety development since the seatbelt.
We're talking about up to 30% reduction in injury accidents. We're talking about up to 50% savings in fatal accidents.
Professor Carston's latest study takes the system beyond the advisory level. The device is connected to the car's engine.
We linked it to the vehicle controls, and what happened was when the driver wanted to accelerate beyond the speed limit when the system was active, they simply couldn't. The throttle went dead, essentially.
Now, when you mention this system to people, one of the first things they say is it sounds dangerous that you don't have control of the vehicle.
Well, you do have control of the vehicle.
You can just detach it like that.
We also had an override on the system, first of all, so drivers could override it. So one of the interesting things is to look at who overrides it and who doesn't.
The results in the UK trial were dramatic.
Essentially, the effect on speed was pervasive. Everybody had their speed modified. People were driving less over the speed limit, and particularly the very high speeds were curtailed drastically.
But not everyone agrees on the value of ISA devices. Forensic engineer John Lambert has worked in road safety for more than 30 years, almost half that time at Vic Roads. He's convinced there is too much focus on controlling the speed of drivers.
To have a computer system take over a car driven by a responsible driver is an appalling suggestion. There's the 20% of drivers who cause 80% of the crashes, and no speed cameras, ISA, no technology will stop the extreme speeders on our roads other than police on the roads.
John Lambert believes that responsible drivers can determine the appropriate speed to travel.
It's much better for the driver to be assessing the situation on the road and adjusting their speed to the conditions than having some third-party system distracting them from that driving task.
Back in Wollongong, it's early days in the ISA study, but the first round of results are positive and support the findings of trials in other countries.
Before we put the device in, 20% of vehicles were travelling at least 5 kilometres over the limit for a large proportion of their time. Since the device went in, that's dropped back to only 12% of vehicles exceeding the speed limit.
Both Robin Stevens and Danny Peterson say they've changed their driving habits.
Definitely slowed down, a lot more cautious.
So you're a safer driver because of this?
Yes, definitely.
You do get in the habit of driving a lot safer. I think the best sort of target audience to have would be initially when people get on their provisional licence or even their Ls, just to get into that good driving habits to start with.
So it's worked correctly as far as...
Supporters of intelligent speed adaptation say their ultimate goal is for all vehicles to be fitted with the system, but they know that there are numerous hurdles to be cleared before that happens.
People are already quite willing to accept it. The politicians, I think, don't quite believe that.
Do you believe that it might ever be a law that these have to be in vehicles, or do you think that's a long way away?
I think it's very early days. If we travel at the legal speed limit, we're going to reduce road trauma on our roads. It's that simple.
Tracy Bowden with that report.